So I woke up to a flood of messages today and pings from people just claiming the most ridiculous things, like the game is completely changing. We're getting rare candy. There's a new trailer that dropped. So I know there's a new trailer that dropped. I haven't looked at any of the cards that were sent to me yet that premiered in this trailer. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to give you my first initial reactions. It's hard for me to believe that the game is going to change as much as people are saying, but I guess we'll figure that out as we watch this. I will do another video later on with a detailed breakdown of each card, especially as we get new cards that leak as time goes on. Now, I do have to warn you, I did just wake up, so this is like my very initial reaction. Anyways, let's get right into it. So this is also Celestial Guardians coming April 30th. So that's going to be in 6 days. These are the first 3 cards we're getting. It's all the starters. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this is obviously Sun and Moon. And those are the 2 legendaries too, Celestial Guardians. We're getting 2 new packs too. So that's going to be a bunch of new cards. The first card is Sol Galio. And this is kind of a good picture. I can read this real quick. It knows Rising Road. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on the bench, you may switch it with your active. Wow. So it just gives your active pretty much no retreat cost. If you go into him, he has 180 HP, which is really good. It is a stage 2, and it knows Soul Breaker, 2 energy, 120 damage, and it damages itself for 10. Now that's not that big of a downside, and 2 energy, 120 is crazy. The only Pokemon that I can think of off the top of my head that does more damage for less energy is Rampardos, which is also a stage 2, but this guy has less of a downside and more HP. That's kind of insane. And if what people were saying about rare candy is true, which we're gonna, I guess, see in a minute, then this is going to be nuts. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, I have actually not played these games either. I skipped this generation, so I might pronounce some things wrong. We're getting another Raichu, but this is the Alolan version. It knows Psychic. For 3 energy, you can deal 60 plus damage, 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active. So that's going to be really good against, obviously, Giratina, because that's going to have 4 energy on it, so that's 120. It's going to do 180 damage to Giratina. And it'll do 120 to Darkrai, so that's actually decent for 3 energy. It just depends on the matchup. I don't know if this is going to be super meta, because what I think is going to be meta is the legendary that we just looked at. Are they going to show the next legendary? Is this it right here? Oh, it is Lunala. Okay, 180 HP. Again, really good. I mean, we've seen Gyarados. Like, Gyarados is so good because it's really tanky and it can sweep. This one only does 100 damage for 3 energy. Not great, actually, but it has the ability Psychic Connect. Once during your turn, you may move all psychic energy from one of your bench psychic Pokemon to your active, which is insane, because pair this with Giratina. You say you go second, you get Giratina's ability off, you put an energy on Lunala, then your next turn you evolve with rare candy, which I think is in here. I got like 3 messages about it. I still am refusing to believe it, because that would be an insane power creep. But if it's real, then you activate rare candy, evolve into Lunala, you Psychic Connect, move the energy up from Giratina, throw another energy on, and you can attack for 100 damage on your second turn, which is good, but not super crazy. But any ability that manipulates any kind of energy paired with an energy generator Pokemon is really good. I think you might play Lunala alongside Giratina and another Pokemon, because you can move it to any active. It doesn't need to be a psychic. So I'm not going to say this is bad right away, because anything that manipulates energy, from what we've seen, has been pretty good. We got Oricorio, which for 1 energy, you can use Spiteful Dance if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn. This does 60 more. Wow. So it's going to do 80 damage for 1 energy. It's similar to Marshadow, but 1 energy cheaper, and for psychics. So you're probably going to splash one of these into each psychic deck. That could be really good. Alolan Vulpix. Oh, we're getting a Alolan Ninetales too. It says call forth cold, 1 energy, take a water energy from your energy zone attached to this Pokemon. So it's going to be able to ramp itself. That's really good too. Anything that takes energy and places it on itself, especially as a basic, is good. I cannot wait to see what the Ninetales does. We got Alolan Marowak, 110 HP, 3 energy, Burning Bone, Orang, which does 70 damage, 3 energy, Okay, 70 for 3. Let's see what it does. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 70 more for each head. So if you're probably going to flip at least 1 heads, it's 140 damage for 3 energy, which is really good. And if one of them is heads, your opponent's active is now burned, which is a guaranteed 20 damage. So if you flip 1 heads, that's 160 damage for 3 energy. That's crazy amount of damage. Wow. Wow. And it's a stage 1, so you can just evolve right away. Use that. You can combine that with, you can ramp that up with, you know, Moltres too if you really need to. Whew, that is great. Wow, Marowak's coming back into the limelight a little bit. Okay, we got 2 new items. Finally, that is rare candy. No shot. Someone in my stream asked me if we're going to get rare candy like yesterday. I was like, nah, they're not going to do it. It's too early into the game. It would break everything. We have, for example, Rampardos, which is a stage 2. Well, actually, let's read what this does. Maybe there's some downside to it. First, we got Rotom decks. Look at the top card of your deck, then you may shuffle it, because it lets you shuffle. It doesn't force you to shuffle. So you could look at the top card before you use Professor, and then shuffle it if you don't like it, and then draw Professor. I think we got so many good cards in the game. I don't know if we're going to have space for Rotom decks. That's the problem. All right, but we do have rare candy. Let's see what this does. If this is the same rare candy that I'm thinking of, I can't believe we already got it. It says choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic to evolve it, skipping stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. That makes sense. So it's literally the exact rare candy, pretty much that's in the main TCGs. This is nuts. So like I was saying earlier, say you have Rampardos, which costs 1 energy to attack, and a fossil is counted as a basic as soon as it's on the field. So I'm assuming this will work on a fossil. So you go first, place your fossil, pass, next turn comes around, you activate rare candy, you instantly have Rampardos doing 130 damage on your second turn for 1 energy. That's crazy. And you know who that really pairs well with? It's going to pair fantastic with this guy right here, 2 energy. So you start going second, you put its basic down, and then you pass your turn after you put an energy on, put rare candy out, bring him out, put another energy on, use Rising Road, swap maybe like your Drudagon out or whatever else you're running, send him in and do 120 damage on your second turn also with 180 HP and very little downside. What is happening to the game? What is this insane power creep? There's so many stage 2s that are going to be relevant now. This actually changes everything. The basic stall meta that we're used to is no more. Now, a lot of people might complain about the power creep. I'm a little bit scared too, but I was very bored with Giratina Darkrai. If I'm being honest with you, I hated the basic meta because they're just so consistent and they would just sit there and slowly ramp up energy. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. They said, no, we're changing the game to where it's speed based. During your second turn, you got to be watching out for stage 2s. Stage 2s are coming for you. Now, because these are so good and they're so fast, it kind of does make things irrelevant, like some things irrelevant, like some of the older decks, they won't be able to play as passive potentially. Now, you do have to remember because rare candy is an item, this only works if you draw into it. We don't have anything to search for items. So if rare candy's at the bottom of your deck or any of your evolutions are at the bottom, you're not going to be able to get into that right at the start of the game. So these decks have the potential to be really fast, but that's only if you draw into a rare candy. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a little bit inconsistent. Like basic legendary decks are going to be way more consistent, but this is just going to be way faster. So I don't know if it's going to break the game. We don't have anything to search for items. So that's, you know, reassuring me a little bit. Let's see what's next here. All right. We got a new supporter. Ilima, did I say that right? It says put one of your colorless Pokemon that has damage on it into your hand. So you're going to be able to play Snorlax, have it soak up some damage, bring that right back to your hand. That's kind of crazy. What else can you play this with? Let me know in the comments below. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna be anything super meta, but it is some nice colorless support. We got 2 new supporters. Lana, you can only use this card if you have an Araquanid in play. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Well, we need to see what that guy does first off, but that's kind of crazy. You can just say, hey, come out here. And I think your opponent chooses. Well, it would say you choose. So I think your opponent chooses what bench to swap, but it's just a forceful swap. That's kind of interesting. All right. And we got this guy, which says choose one of your Alolan Marowak or Turtonator. Take 2 fire energy from your energy zone and attach it to that Pokemon. We don't know what Turtonator does yet, but we know Alolan Marowak is really good and it costs 3 energy. I guess this makes it really good if you're going first. It helps going first with Marowak. because you go first, you evolve the next turn, you place an energy on him, activate this supporter, then for the next turn you have 3 right away when you would only typically have 2. So it actually really helps if you're going first with Marowak. But if you're going second, you would get your energy in time anyhow, because this forces you to end your turn. So really helps going first with that. Alolan Marowak might be in the meta. It seems really good. All right, we also have 3 more. We're getting a ton of supporters. Ace Rolla, which says choose one of your Palosand or Mimikyu that has damage on it and move 40 of its damage to your opponent's active. Wait, that's toxic. Oh, okay. So it heals and deals damage to your opponent. That's crazy. Now, we don't know what either of those do yet, those Pokemon, so we'll have to see. We also got a Mallow, which says heal all damage from one of your Shiinotic or Tasarina. If you do, discard all energy from that Pokemon. Well, I don't know what they do, but discarding all energy is kind of a heavy cost to pay. Unless, like, maybe you just use them as a tank, and then you can just heal. That could be nuts. Sophocles, which says attacks by your Alolan something or Toga Demaru do plus 30 damage to your opponent's active, so it's just an attack boost. Again, we don't know what any of these Pokemon do, so when they're leaked, I'm going to cover them right away. Make sure you have your noties on for that. We got a Lily that says heal 60 damage from one of your stage 2 Pokemon. Wow. Okay. So Lily is going to be splashed into every stage 2 deck, at least probably just one copy of her. Healing for 60 is crazy. We have Pokemon Center Lady, which works for everything, but it's only 30. So if you're running a stage 2 deck, you're definitely going to be running one copy of Lily. Wow, is there anything else here? I don't think so. Wednesday, April 30th is when this is dropping. We got a ton of very powerful cards in this trailer, and this is only the trailer, and we saw so many different game-changing cards that I cannot wait to see what's in the rest of this pack. We also got a promo card for Rayquaza EX. I wanted to cover this. I know it wasn't in the trailer, but this is confirmed. So Rayquaza has 140 HP. Nah, I thought it would have more HP. 4 energy. One of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 4 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 40 damage to it. So it does 160 damage for 4 energy. That's not good. I mean, yeah, that's not good. It is a basic, which is cool, but I mean, no. There's a reason it's a promo and it's gonna be free. Oh man, that's not very good. Its stats are not very good. They did Rayquaza dirty. This is less damage than Dragonite even with Draco Meteor. Wow, what? Why would they do this to Rayquaza? My beautiful Rayquaza, are you kidding me? This is what we get with him? What? Oh, that's a bummer. All right, well, that's what Rayquaza is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.